At isang maganda at pinagpalang gabi po sa ating lahat. Welcome to another live broadcast. Alam mo, Reza, nung isang linggo ay naging panahon ng pagtatapos ng 5,000 at 100, mahigit yan, no, ng mga graduates mula sa aking alma mater, pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila sa kanilang 57th commencement exercises na ang tema ay mga hinubog sa karunungan tungo sa kaunlaran. Alam mo, napakagandang pagkakataon yan. Ang tabayanan natin yan sapagkat meron kaming one-on-one interview. Walang iba, no? Kundi with the president ng PLM na si Dr. Sunny Reyes Jr. Don't miss that sa ating What's Brewing.
At good news pa rin po pagdating naman sa Pinoy cuisine dahil binigyan parangal po ang 9 na Philippine restaurants with a much coveted, ika nga po, ng mga Michelin star ratings. No? Ang pinakamataas po dyan ay ang 2-star rating na binigay sa restaurant na Helm. Ayan, na nasa Ayala Triangle, Makati lang naman po. No? Ano nga ba ang mga implications ng pagkakaroon ng Michelin star ratings para po sa Pinoy cuisine? So don't miss this interesting discussion in Espresso Self. Stay with us for an hour of good talks. Ako po si Reza Abante Yebra.
At ako naman po si Bishop Ruben Abante. Join us and let's have good talk over good coffee. Welcome to the Lighthouse Cafe. At lubos po tayo nagagalak na sa episode na ito ng ating Lighthouse Cafe ay featured natin ang medyo ginawa na nating talagang institutional partner. Alam niyo po, tayo, naniniwala tayo na kinakailangan makipag-partner tayo sa mga nakakaambag sa ating lipunan, lalo na ang mga institutions ng higher learning. And I refer to no other than yung pinaka-alma mater po natin, pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila na nagganap sila ng ika-57th commencement exercises last week. Kaya ito po yung episode na kinakailangan pakiusapan natin yung pinaka-presidente. And we're so glad to have with us again ang presidente po ng pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila, Dr. Domingo Sunny Reyes. Ay, magandang araw sa iyo.
Naiwanan yung junior.
Naiwanan yung junior. Oh, yes. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me again. Third time ko na yata or fourth time. No?
Hindi ka na
I now feel at
rito.
home compared to my first appearance. Medyo nervyoso pa. Now I'm more comfortable.
And of course, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And to PLM. Alam mo, ako'y tuwan-tuwa ako sapagkat bago yung commencement exercises, balitang-balita yung performance ng mga graduates natin sa iba't ibang colleges.
Yeah.
So, kung mamarapatin mo, President Sunny, tell us about it. Kumusta ang mga graduates natin at yung performance nila sa mga board exams?
So far, we're doing great with many of our programs. No, in fact, one of the highlights which the good mayor of Manila is also very proud of is our performance in the recently concluded medical board exams.
Yes. Nakapost siya ng ilang beses, ha?
Yes. Actually, for the first time, we are now #1 school in the whole country. So, we were able to garner 99-point-something% with only one that missed the... Sayang nga, sana 100%. But of course, we still...
99% kasi 100 plus din yung...
Yung first takers, 100%.
Okay.
So, in fact, we are all very happy kasi nga, we're better than UP now.
How old is the College ng Medicine natin?
Well, it's almost around, mga 50 na rin yan. No?
Yes.
After it was established. No?
But initially, pamantasan was known for yung mga nurses.
Yes. Actually, that is our banner program and still is right now.
Yes.
In fact, as we are talking right now, tomorrow will be the start of their board exams. Tomorrow and the following day. So we're all praying na our board examinees for nursing will continue to thrive in our
tomorrow, and live na live po tayo ngayon.
Yeah, so bukas na bukas din yun. 2 araw yan, then after 1 week, probably we'll already know the result.
Mga ilan na magte-take niya?
Well, right now, based on the during the send-off, I think it's more than 100 plus, 130 nurses. But not all are taking. Sometimes they are delaying for the next batch. So they want a longer preparation.
So, kompleto na ito. Bali, mga doktor, pagkatapos
then nursing,
mga nurses,
and then physical therapy. Susunod, the following week naman. Actually, I'm monitoring every board exams, no? Kasi importante na matutukan, no? Kasi
Yes.
so that for whatever maganda yung may konting motivation sila coming
Yes.
from
I
the
also will have
university.
to ask you concerning yung partnership naman sa Ospital ng Maynila.
Yes, oo. Well, right now, the PLM Hospital ng Maynila remains to be our base hospital.
Yes.
No? And the mayor right now, happy to say, has great plans. No?
Ayun, isang tatanungin ko pa.
yes.
Kasi during the commencement exercises last week,
He
ipinisita niya yung isang
Perspective.
Tell
Yes.
us about it.
Well, actually, it is a brainchild of the mayor. In fact, even during the first time that he became mayor, that's already one of his vision. In fact, the location where the old hospital ng Maynila is located has been given to PLM through a
Yes.
USIPRAC.
Okay.
Really for the purpose of expanding our campuses and really to house other medical allied programs. But of course, due to budgetary constraint, he did not push through. So when he became mayor again, he revived it. In fact, that is one of his major campaign promises. So the first thing that he did, one of the very first things he did was to really develop the perspective. Para meron na kaming, one thing about him is meron ng vision of what we
Yes.
want to have on that property. So hopefully, by early next year, we will be doing the groundbreaking. So we're trying to solicit as much help as we can, both from the private and the public sector.
So when this was made public, anong reception ng mga
Ay,
estudyante?
ako tuwan-tuwa ng mga estudyante.
Oo.
Kasi unang-una, it will give us a breather in our
Yes.
current campus. No? Well, we are projecting that at least 5,000 students will be housed in that building. Should it be fully operational. So, if that's 5,000, then probably we
Pero,
could also ease up this campus.
Practically speaking, iba yung building, iba yung laman.
Iba yung laman. Oo.
Oo.
Actually, sabi ko nga
Pero
sa...
hindi pa kasama yung laman doon sa
Hindi pa.
proyektong yan.
Hindi
Oo.
pa. No? In fact, during the last City Hall budget hearing, I told them na it's not all about the building only.
Totoo yun.
So we are talking also about the equipment, the laboratories, the faculty, and of course, the maintenance of the building.
Oh,
So
yes.
sabi ko, if we're talking about $1 billion amount of a building, more or less is also equivalent $1 billion also to start operating the
Ang mga
building.
ganyang proyekto talagang local government lang o meron bang ambag ang national government for
In
this?
fact, we do. In fact, we're also talking to other agencies like the tourism or TIESA. Kasi ang isa sa mga possible dyan is maging medical tourism.
Okay, yes.
So if it will fall within the ambit of medical tourism, then the TIESA or the could probably help us.
Alam mo,
in the
that's a very
funding.
good program, ha?
No.
Kasi-
Although I'm not making any commitment
Oo.
for TIESA, but that
Yes.
is one of the possibilities that
I
will
have
probably
actually
come up.
talked to many of those who would be abroad pagkatapos they would look at the Philippines as a place for and then looking at yung ating kalalagyan sa medical medyo maganda ang prospect.
In fact, what I'm doing right now, because of some budgetary constraint, is I try to list down all the required equipments inside the building. And probably, from our alumni and our friends, probably they could look at the checklist and find anong pwede nila itulong.
Yes.
So that's one strategy that we're looking into para lang masimula na yung ball, no? At least commitments, no? As we are approaching the construction of the building, we are also trying to start soliciting friends
Oo.
in trying to help us also gather all the
Well,
necessary
palagay
equipment
ko,
inside.
kahit sa interview na ito, I will have to make a commitment to you now, being the president.
Of course.
Alumni.
Malaking bagay ang
Hahakain natin
alumni.
lahat dyan.
Malaking bagay ang alumni. Kasi
Oo.
we have a lot of already alumni who are graduates of physicians or
Yes.
nurses, PT.
Oo.
That is all over the world.
Oo.
So if we could harness these people who have been part of PLM, I think it will be a great help for us.
Okay. Bukod sa area ng medisina, sa technical, kumusta ang mga graduates?
Oh, we're also doing good, no? In fact, in the recent board exam for electronic engineering,
Yes,
no? Our electronic technician, PLM landed number 7
Okay.
in the top schools and number 2, no? So these are two areas also that we are being very proud of. Our
Siyempre
engineering
ako,
are
I am
also
very proud na mga ilang chairman doon sa PRC ng electrical tsaka electronics, they hail from PLM.
Yes, so we are
Oo.
very proud of that, no?
Yes.
So also our chemistry is also
Yes.
doing very well, no? So I think generally mga 85 to 90% of all the programs are all doing good in their licensure
And currently 15 colleges. Tama ba
14
yan?
colleges.
14 colleges.
With 42 programs.
Wow! Tapos meron pang may music, hindi ba?
Yeah, we have
Yun ang
the Department of
pinaka-baby
Music.
yata ngayon.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we have also the arts program.
Yes.
Kasi it puts the soul, no? Hindi masyadong hard hindi puro left brain tayo.
Alam mo sa industriya ng creative media. Of course, ang mga institution diyan, for example, sila Wilma Galvante,
Of course, no.
sila Bob Del Rosario,
Yes, si
Edith
Bitoy.
Del Rosario, si
Bitoy.
Bitoy. Aba,
It's all our
maghahanap
graduate.
yan ng dapat na medyo yun ang
In
itaas
fact, ang
natin.
Department of Music is not only about the department itself, its students.
Yes.
We also have programs for those who are musically inclined in other colleges.
Oh.
So we provide tutorial, we provide coaching with the students who are musically inclined. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank also Pastor Abante. No? Kasi he helped us
Yes.
in funding some of our equipments in the Department of Music. And it really helped a lot. No? And to him, my gratefulness.
Okay.
No?
Yes. Now, referring naman doon sa pag-usapan natin yung, alam mo, I congratulate you personally kasi you have entered your, third year mo na ngayon, di ba?
Third year ko ngayon. Third year na. I'm going to my third
how
year.
is it now being president for 2 years?
Well, I could say I have already adjusted to the position with all the problems that that goes along with the position, no? And I think in the 2 years, no, not only me, but I think the whole community of PLM, the Barangay PLM, including the
Ayun, ikaw na
alumni,
nagnano yan Barangay PLM.
have accomplished so much in the last 2 years, no? And in fact, ako din nagulat, no? How we were able to achieve so much in 2 years, no? One of these, na-review natin ang mga programs natin, no?
Yes.
Nagkaroon na tayo ng ongoing na yung ating enterprise resource planning equipment na will integrate the processes, no? So we're now migrating from a manual to an integrated system that is already computerized. And hopefully before the year ends, may pasok na natin yung LMS in preparation for the AI.
And I remember it well na nung nag-celebrate ang PLM ng 60th anniversary, no? Itong last June lang yun.
Yes,
no?
oo.
Parang last year na,
Oo,
but this was last June.
June, no?
You said something like a long-term plan and you laid it down actually.
Yeah.
Di ba? So that's what, 5 years ahead?
It's a 5-year development plan, and
Yes.
I called it a strategic trust, no, for
Yes.
PLM. It's a roadmap kasi mahirap yung wala kang mapa
Of
or
course.
architecture. So we developed a 6 trust, no, it's academic excellence, internationalization and linkages, computerization or digitalization, resource generation, and then culture, organizational culture development. So these are simultaneously going on. And so far, we've been hitting our targets, although there are
Yes.
some setbacks along the way. But generally, we are around 80 to 85% of our
At
target.
alam mo, I'll be honest to say na I appreciate from the alumni part naman na ito yung period na yung ating bina-value ng mga advocacies like kaunlaran,
Kadakilaan,
karunungan, kaunlaran, kadakilaan ay talagang na-highlight ngayon.
In fact, kasi ang una kong talaga is community building.
Yes.
Because without the community working together, mahirap mag-move forward.
Oo.
So the first thing really in the agenda is the organizational culture.
Correct.
And I've always been repeatedly telling this in a lot of my talks and speeches, the malasakit aspect of governance. Kasi kung walang malasakit ang membro ng isang pamayanan, mahirap magpatupad ng mga agenda.
Tama yun.
So ang unang kailangan mo talaga dyan is to put together the community na may malasakit, then you can move forward. Mas madali
Ang isang very significant na nangyari nung anniversary, yung 60th, ay nagbalikan yung mga haribon. Okay? Ngayon, institusyon na yung salitang haribon. Yung haring ibon.
Highly coveted.
Yes. Nung napag-usapan natin, magkakaroon ng award na pinakamataas na uri ng award, yung haribon. At nagkaroon tayo ng mahigit na 60 awardees.
65.
Yes, 65.
Oo.
So, what about it? Iba-ibang areas ito.
Yeah, actually, it's Actually, it's an area of karunungan, kadakilaan, at kaunlaran. So, kasi it's always good to recognize and appreciate the contribution of our alumni to the society. So, in fact, kung wala man, tayo man lang at least sa ating sariling pamamahay sa PLM.
At saka ginigising yung kanilang kamalayan na hindi ka lang gagraduate, kundi later on, kapag ikay na abot mo na yung tugatog ng tagumpay, abay magkaroon ka ng ambag para sa ating lipunan at sa ating bayan.
At saka gusto ko din sila maging halimbawa o hemplo doon sa mga susunod na henerasyon. Kasi pwede tinitingnan kang idol umaga sa model or example, para pag it's your time, ikaw naman yung time to prove yourself to the community that PLM is not only about academic excellence. It's also about service.
Meron nung araw sentimento nung pumasok ako sa alumni na para bang kasi ang PLM pang Maynila lang, no? Parang kinakailangan maging state university, hindi maging local university. Pero alam mo, yung bang sabihin natin wherever Manila goes, everybody goes. Di gawan na natin ng talagang magandang kaparaanan. Huwag na natin gawing issue yun.
Actually.
Diba? Because eventually talagang makaka-contribute
In fact, even if it's a national or a local, PLM is already PLM.
Yes.
It is a brand in itself. And I think it's good to stay as it is now because it gives us more flexibility on how we do things. In fact, there are proposals to me to review the charter. But sabi ko, there's no need to
alam mo, pareho tayo ng conviction dyan. Kahit ako sabi ko, wag na natin galawin yan. Let's make good what we are right now.
Sabi ko kasi, kung funding lang, there are other ways to find funding.
Yes.
But the way it was drafted gives the PLM a good flexibility on how to move forward in making it really what it should be. A university whose aim is really to serve the community.
Alam mo, nung graduation, syempre, aawitin yung Lupang Hinirang, bayan yun. Tapos, aawitin yung Maynila na song. Maynila, Maynila, dalhin mo ang bandila. Di ba? Sabi ko, okay to. Magmula elementarya ako hanggang kolehiyo. Alam na natin yun But of course, yung ating pinaka-hymn. Okay, now, ito naman, let's segue doon sa 57th commencement exercises na ginanap doon sa SMX. Pero palagi di ba? Palagi sa PICC.
Yeah, actually, we were supposed to be at PICC this year. Unfortunately, it was closed down. Because it has to be renovated in time for the ASEAN. But it was reopened, wala na tayong schedule. And we cannot afford to take the risk of having no venue. So, we decided to transfer to SMX.
Okay, 5,100 graduates.
5,113 to be exact.
Wow!
The biggest in the history of PLM.
Ayan, nakikita natin. The biggest,
The biggest.
And you need to have 3 days.
3 days, 5 sessions of graduation.
And thank you that you have made it a point na ando na present. Ako yung nagli-lead na.
For the first 4.
Okay, but anyway, ang pinaka-tema ay nakalagay, mga hinubog sa karunungan tungo sa kaunlaran at kadakilaan. Ang ganda.
Yes.
So, anong take doon ng mga graduates?
Well, sabi ko din naman sa speech ko, knowledge, that remains a knowledge is of no value.
Correct.
It has to be manifested in your ways of how you serve the community. So, yun yung karunungan tungo sa kaunlaran at kadakilaan. How do you use your knowledge in order to propel progress and at the same time contribute
to the... Anong gamit ng marunong ka?
Kung wala ka namang silbi sa bayan.
Wala kang ambag sa kaunlaran. At hindi mo matulungan ng bayan para maging dakila.
So, waste ang isang knowledge kung hindi mo gagamitin sa tama.
Ikaw yung dakilang walang ambag.
Kailangan magamit niya sa kabutihan ng kapwa, hindi lang sa kabutihan mo.
Ano ang pinakamaraming graduate na college?
Well, if I recall it right, it's the College of Business Administration.
Okay.
Yan, of course, and then education.
Yes.
And then, of course, nursing. And,
of course.
And PT, yan ang mga malalaking graduates.
So, ano mga highlights na nangyari doon sa graduation?
Well, the highlight is, of course, the second day where we conferred a Doctor of Education honoris causa to our Senator Bam Aquino.
Oh, yes.
So, in fact, that was well taken up even by the media. No?
Right.
I think he really deserved to be conferred that doctorate, considering his contribution to Philippine education.
Yes.
And in fact, during his speech, he even again reiterated his commitment for the upliftment of the quality of education. And in our private conversation with Yorme, before we entered the halls of SMX, that was also the topic on how the local government and the national government can help each other towards the upliftment of our educational standards. No? In fact, I was just, on my way here, I was reading the EDCOM report, the second EDCOM report, kasi I'm preparing for a speech. No? And talaga namang kailangan natin ng malaking overhaul in our educational system. No? Di ba? Napahayag na functionally illiterate ang karamihan sa ating mga... Sabi ko, ano ba yung functionally illiterate?
Pero alam mo, nung unang napag-usapan namin yan, because I've been in many platforms sa media na pag-uusapan yan, sabi ko, alam mo, if we talk about functional illiteracy sa mga kabataan, hindi lang yan utak. Hindi yan utak. Kundi malaking kinalaman ng facilities.
Exactly.
Oo. Una ko nga nabanggit dyan, anong aasahan mo sa DepEd? Okay naman, magagaling naman ng mga Pinoy, mga bata.
Oo. Maabilidad.
Maabilidad. Pero bibigyan mo ng isang facility na eskwelahan na kapag mainit, paano ka makapag-aaral? Kapag nag-ulan, ganun din. Pag nag-disaster, gagawin mo pang shelter. So, paano yon? Walang seriousness. So, actually, segue ako sa isa pang topic. Maliit ang area ng PLM. At ang dinig ko, President Sani, merong application na 79,000 ngayon.
Yeah, online, when we opened up our PhilMath applications, around 79,000. But those who were able to complete the requirements in time or on time, last October 30,
yes,
around mga 47 or 48,000 ang kukuha ng PhilMath.
Wow.
That's a big jump
pero
over last year.
Oo.
And nakakatakot
so,
kasi
marami ang nangangarap, no?
Na mag-aral sa PLM.
Makapag-aral. Pero ilan ang kukunin?
Right now, ang discussion namin sa Mahancom, around 3,500.
Wow!
So around 5% tayo ng...
Ganun
lang, kasi hindi na natin kaya.
So ito'y hindi issue ng ipasa mo yung exam, ito'y issue ng quota.
It's an issue ng sino yung pinakamatataas.
Siyempre, yung pinakamatataas, tapos hanggang kung saan. So anong pinakadahilan nun? Ba't ganun, kakaunti?
Una-una kulang tayo sa space.
Okay.
Our current site right now can only accommodate 11,000. Nasa 11 na tayo ngayon. In fact, ideally, dapat nasa 9 to 10 lang tayo. Comfortably, But because we want to accommodate more, we're trying to really expand and add more.
And you're just referring to the undergraduate na program?
Yes, oo. Kasi ang ating graduate school, weekends lang yan.
Okay.
Pero yung undergrad and professional school like law and medicine, gumagamit din yan during weekdays. Plus the funding also. Kasi once you increase enrollment, you increase expenses also for teachers, accommodation for laboratories.
So this is beyond just putting up a new building for...
Yes. That's only one of the... holistically looking at it, it's really a question of funding for other programs. No?
And this should not be a challenge for you alone, but a challenge for the whole city of Manila.
And for the whole country. Because we're not serving the Manilans only.
Please explain.
Yeah, because under the Unifas law, siyempre, there's already a funding from the CHED. We are required to also, equality and education. So nobody should be denied education. But if you look at the charter closely, there's really no mandate. There's no really specific provision that is exclusive for Manileños.
So, hindi limited talaga ang charter?
It's just that naging practice when it was being solely funded by the city government that at least 100%...
hindi naman pwede na walang budget o funding from Unifas.
Meron, kaya napakababa. No? In fact, that's one of the arguments that I'm telling CHED and even our friends in the Congress na yung 293 is no longer the right amount per unit na refund. Ang cost ngayon ng pagpapaaral,
Hindi ba ang katiwiran nila? Kasi local university lang kayo.
But still, it does not follow the spirit of the law of a free university tuition fee. So, sa ngayon, the way pagkukwenta namin sa eskwelahan, mga 1,002 na ang per unit cost. And then we're being reimbursed by CHED ng 293 and then funding. So, pagpalay natin.
So, basically, ang estudyante ngayon, yung mga scholars ng PLM, walang binabayaran yan.
Practically wala.
Practically wala.
Except uniform, pre.
Yes.
Pero yung from application to graduation, wala talaga yan.
Oo.
Nire-reimburse natin yan.
Alam mo, tama lang naman yun na syempre, as a condition na kayo yung maging recipient ng funds from UniFast, dapat...
Tsaka isa rin yan sa argument ko sa Commission on Higher Education kasi they're coming up with so many memorandum orders to comply with the minimum standards.
Yes.
And how can we comply if we don't have money?
Exactly.
So it's a chicken and egg eh. So we are under threat na hindi namin bibigyan ng recognition kasi hindi mo makomply. Paano naman namin mako-comply kung wala naman kami perang pambili? But we are producing good graduates. We're having top-notchers. We have high passing rate.
Alam mo, offhand, habang ikay nagsasalita, medyo nag-i-imagine ako eh. Pasintabi na lang. Ano? Live tayo ngayon Sometimes
I'm just being truthful about it.
There are 6 districts in Manila. Okay?
Yes.
What if every district will host para bang extension campus ng PLM?
That's a good idea.
Oo nga,
Yeah. If the congressman could help us set up, ang ano lang doon is yung logistics ang medyo mahirap, but it could be done. Kaya lang ang dami kasi
look at it, parang isa sa mga magagandang ideya na pwede, ano? Kaysa ipagsisiksikan, saan ka naman pupunta
ron sa problema naman doon, Bishop, wala namang space. Puno na ang mga distrito.
Meron yan.
Meron ba yan?
Oo, meron yan. Kahit maliit na ano lang, an extension campus, pagkatapos hayaan lang ang PLM, kayo ang maglatag ng programa for every extension campus.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yun na ang ano ngayon Yun na ang kalakaran ng maraming university.
Actually, satellite campus can be isa-isa kasi mahirap din magkaroon ng satellite kasi of control.
Tama.
Mahirap pag sabog yung campuses natin.
Oo. Lalo pa kapag isang distrito merong konsentrasyon kung anong pwedeng course ang maganda sa mga kabataan. Research on that would be Alam mo, ang daming pwedeng pag-usapan.
Maraming pwedeng gawin.
Oo.
But of course, limitations are there, constraints are there.
Palagi namang may challenges.
Ako naman, sa biyaya naman ng Diyos, hindi naman, they come at the right time. Yun ang gusto kong sabihin na kahit ganito ang sitwasyon ngayon, nakakatuwang isipin na at the right time dumadating yung mga resources. So, really, it's God's time. Kung hindi pa talaga oras, hindi pa talaga pangyayari. So, we just go to the promptings ng, sabi natin, His Holy Spirit. Para...
What is it in the past na napakagandang pundasyon ng kasalukuyan?
In fact, the founders did a very good foundation.
Oh, yes. Kasi kaibigan na natin ngayon, si Antonio Villegas.
Tony, but even Lacson. From Lacson to Villegas, they really had a very good vision of a good school that is community-based. Yun talaga ang naging ano nila. And they really inculcated the culture of excellence from the very beginning. In fact, I was hearing stories of the first batch, second and third batch, how they landed up in PLM. You will really marvel how they became part of PLM and how they really strived hard to earn a degree at PLM.
It was your idea na magkaroon ng ano nga yun? Yung awards para sa mga unang batch.
Yes. Actually, you shared the idea. Hindi naman ako tayo lahat yun. But of course, I think it's only proper, especially now that many of them are already in the twilight of their years. That finally naman, makilala na sila yung mga nagsimula sa PLM. Na hindi pa kilala ang PLM noon. Sila ang nagbigay ng pangalan.
Kaya papaabot ko dito yung coffee table book na ginawa.
Sila yung nag-branding sa atin. Kung meron man tayong dapat tanawin sa mga nakalipas at sa mga nagsimula, yun. Binigay nila ng magandang pangalan ng PLM. Na hari nawa maipagpatuloy natin sa mga susunod
So, ibig sabihin for what was established in the past, ay napakagandang tuntungan yan moving forward.
In fact, sabi ko sa mga bata, napaka swerte nyo kasi dumating kayo na napakaganda na ng PLM. Meron na may pagmamalaki. Samantalang noon, nag-strive pa sila, who are they? In fact, hindi pa nga kilala. Saan ka ba galing? Ano ba yung PLM? Di ba? Hindi natanong, saan bang lugar yan? No?
Alam mo, let me say this, hindi siguro alam ng marami na ang laki ng ambag ng mga engineers ng PLM sa development natin sa teknolohiya. Lalo na sa area ng telecoms.
Yes.
No?
And computer science.
Yes. Sapagkat yung kapanahunan, alam mo, nung araw, ang laboratory namin, blackboards na.
Exactly. Imagination lang daw pinapaganod sa computer.
Pero ang laki ng naging ambag in that, yung mga telco ng mga kumpanya, ang daming pumasok doon galing PLM.
Actually, they started the technology, the IT, nung malalaki pa yung mainframe ng mga IBM. They already started that until it transitioned to the small frames and everything. Nakatawa pakinggan yung mga istorya nila whenever they
So,
hear.
let's talk naman doon sa sacredness of that place in Intramuros.
Oh, yeah.
Oo.
Well, it's a very historical place. Intramuros is Intramuros, no? But I was told there was a lot of things that happened there, no? In fact, they told me that even Rizal passed through that school.
Yes. Oo.
According to Mr. Gabot, no?
Oo, si Alfred talagang historian yon, Alfred Gabot. Siya yung nagsabi at nagkwento na nung araw nakakulong si Jose Rizal
Fort Santiago.
Fort Santiago. At nung dinala siya sa Bagong Bayan, hinatid siya doon para gawing martir. Lumakad siya at dumaan mismo doon sa pinakalugar ng PLM.
And I was told, although it's subject to verification, na baka doon nga ginawa yung hearing ni Rizal. So I'm trying to find out the documents, no, to give us that more or less information.
Kaya pati yung itsura ng ating mga building ay pine-preserve, no? Yung parang native.
The native,
doon sa Intramuros.
Castilian type of buildings,
yes.
No? Which I think it's maganda naman, no?
Ito.
Yan,
ito,
ating
ito po yung pinaka naging coffee table book.
Very nice.
Released last June.
Yung mga gusto pang humabol, marami pa tayong copies
available pa siya. 60th anniversary edition, Diamond Jubilee celebration ng PLM.
First time tayo nagkaroon yan.
President Sani, for all of what the audience can pick up from this, you have the opportunity to talk to potential na mga estudyante, mga scholars.
Again, congratulations to the class of 2025. I think you're off to a good start. And for those who are still in PLM, do your best, try your best. For those who will just come in for next year, may the best man or woman wins. Kasi napaka-konti po ng slot natin. And those are taking their board exams in the next 2 months, good luck. Our prayers are all with you. No? Again, maraming salamat po sa buong pamayanan ng Barangay PLM kasi sama-sama pa rin tayo dito at sama-sama tayo nagtutulong-tulong para marating ng PLM kung ano yung dapat ng Estado sa lipunan. Yung nakakatulong sa kapwa at may malasakit. Maraming salamat po.
President Sani, congratulations
salamat
again.
Po, Bishop, at
okay.
kapag-imbita nyo sa akin. At salamat din sa tulong nyo lahat, lalo na Alumni Association Incorporated.
Okay. Salamat ng marami. Congratulations sa aking alma mater, ang Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. Huwag po kayong aalis, magpapatuloy ang Lighthouse Cafe.
Mga usaping in, mga paksang trending,
mga talakayang may kabuluhan,
lifestyle at kultura ang sariling atin.
Boy Pinoy, pag-usapan natin dito sa
Espresso Self. Yan, Erica, favorite topic mo to dahil alam ko, foodie ka at mahilig ka mag-explore ng mga new cafes, lalo na yung mga fini-feature nyo doon sa sikat-sikat na IG, no, na CC Sips, no? Paano ka ba pumipili ng cafe or restaurant na pupuntahan?
Yeah, actually, Gabi, katuwaan lang namin yun ng
Hindi, parang seryoso na kayo.
Pero syempre, una nating, syempre parang lang siya, parang break, no? Pag kunyari gusto nyong lumabas, kanya, breath of fresh air, ganun nga. Pero syempre, hinahanap natin una-una, syempre yung masarap and yung for the coffee, yung tapang, ganyan, legit coffee, ganyan. And syempre, uso na rin ngayon yung aesthetic, yung ambience, ganyan. Tapos, syempre, may ibang factors like kung work-friendly ba siya, may wifi, ganyan, may parking. So, yun yung mga ilang, kinoconsider namin. Pero, Kaya syempre, sobrang excited ako sa new restaurant
Yes.
sa ating bansa. Yan, congratulations po sa mga nabigyan ng Michelin star ratings. At marami dyan, Gabi, ay nandito lang sa Metro Manila.
Oo nga, at unahin ko na dyan, susubukan yung nakakuha ng 2-star rating, no, na Helm sa Ayala Triangle, Makati. In fact, hindi lahat pricey dahil meron din palang Michelin na ibinibigay sa mga masarap na pagkain but at an affordable price. Sabi nga nila, after daw i-announce, kinabukasan, pila na yung mga customers, no? And to talk more about this, we have with us, syempre, ito, authority rin, credible, at napakasarap din magluto nito, no? Naalala ko yung mga niluto.
5-star to sa akin.
Para sa akin, more than 5-star. No? Lahat. Mahilig din siya sa kotse, no? So, tamang-tama, we have with us again, Chef April. Yan. Hello, Chef. Welcome back sa Lighthouse Cafe.
Hi, it's nice to be back.
Yan. So, pag-usapan natin yan, syempre, yung medyo pasok sa news natin, no? Siguro a bit of a background, no? Kung kaya mong i-explain in layman's terms. Ano bang significance nitong Michelin star na binibigay sa mga restaurant? At paano siya nakukuha?
Actually, yung Michelin is we all know it's a brand ng gulong. So, they came up with a marketing plan na parang, kailangan, sobrang tibay ng gulong natin, kailangan magbiyahe ng marami yung mga tao. So, they formed this guide where hindi lang siya actually food. Didn't start just food. Hotels, gas stations. So, parang mapa lang siya kung saan work destination, parang ganun. So, it's actually sa France noong 1990 pa. So, yun. Pero nag-stand out yung sa food kasi syempre, di ba, everyone likes to eat. And, yun. So, they formulated a guideline for that. So, yun.
So basically, guideline siya, no? Kasi yun nga, when we look for some na kakainan natin, ang hinahanap talaga natin, una-una yung reviews, kung maganda ba, or may bad reviews ba, ganyan. Pero siguro, naging parang bago siya na dito sa Pilipinas kasi ngayon lang tayo nagkaroon nitong Michelin star. So siguro pwede nating pag-usapan, ano ba yung mga meanings ng mga iba't ibang tiers nito?
Actually, we have a local na, I used to follow Spot PH. So they have the booklet before. And kung ano yung category per location, they have the rating. And it's just according to their standards of like everyone has their own palettes, di ba? So meron din tayo Let's Eat Pare, di ba? Guideline din siya. But
What's
Michelin
your ulam, pare?
so Michelin star lang is international. And of course, meron silang kumbaga may credentials na sila na sinusunod or parang nag-set na sila ng benchmark for that. So, like mentioned niya, meron silang 4 tiers kung paano ka mag-rate sa Michelin. So, one is the Michelin Select. Ibig sabihin, your restaurant, pag binisit namin yon, you will have a good food. Diba? They're already there, pero hindi pa nila na-reach yung highest potential nila. But expect mo na, you'll have a good food.
Kumbaga
So,
parang nominated
yes.
siya, gano'n.
So parang acknowledge na, okay, nasa culinary platform sila. They're at the right path, parang ganun. Nasa right turns na sila. Then meron din yung Bib Gourmet, yung sinabi nga ni Kuya Gab. So, ito kasi yung Michelin Guide, it's not just preparing food, but preparing food with passion, consistency, and yun nga, marami sila kinonsider. Like, ito nga Bib, di ba, there was nominated na, parang eatery lang siya. Yeah. So, that's one thing na yung mga housewife, they cook sa cafeteria, sa mga gano'ng eatery, they cook with passion pa rin. And nabibigyan nila ng justice yung price ng mga niluluto nila. So, yun yung sa Bib Gourmet na award, na na-award sa kanila. So, kahit na eatery siya, turo-turo siya, dahil sa passion nila and sa pagiging consistent nila with their service and their food, lumalabas yung excellence doon sa food nila. And na-acknowledge siya ni Michelin. Okay, so meron ding isa yung Green Star, which is they are practicing sustainability in operating.
Nice.
So, they probably support locals. So, isa lang kasi yung alam ko restaurant but it's not in the Philippines. It's in Denmark. So they don't use bottled water, they don't use canned drinks. So yung waste nila for the year is about 2 kilos lang, parang ganun. So ganun sila sustained. And we know Denmark is a sustainable country din talaga. So yun, you get a green star, like green for, greener version of the, eco-friendly.
Yeah.
So simple lang, like instead of using tissue, they use reusable rugs, yung mga ganun, even with drying your hands. So, yun. So, sila yung nabibigyan ng reward pagdating sa ganun. But, kumbaga, kahit na greener kami, cleaner kami, we can still provide
Masarap.
good food
Masarap
and good service. Actually, experience din yung categories ni Michelin eh. So, sa Michelin star naman, yung food dun sa, yung 1 star, yung food mo, dun sa category mo, parang nandun ka, may tier ka. So we have few restaurants here in the Philippines. I think merong 6 ba or 7 na
Parang more,
restaurants na naka-receive ng 1 star.
Oh. And then 1 for 2 star.
And then 1 for 2 star, which is Helm. And then 3. So basically, yung 2 stars is, yung cooking nila is worth detour. So pwede, magandang sadyahin.
Dadayuin mo talaga.
So like the
Mag-effort
ones in
ka.
Antonio's is in the middle of the hill, di ba? Pero they receive 1 star pa lang. So they just opened this year. So sana galingan pa nila. So sana maging consistent pa sila. And, so yun yung mga naging din. So yung 3 star, syempre, yung spectacular na yung service, not just the food, but the entire service and the entire experience is worth traveling na talaga, di ba?
Parang once in a lifetime experience. No? Sabi nung anak ko, nung pinag-usapan namin Michelin, parang Oscars daw na award for
the
sa
movies.
for mga chefs, mga restaurants natin. No? Pero having said that, ano ba yung implication, no? Kapag nabigyan ka ng mark na yan, ng stamp na yan, ng award na yan, ano yung magiging implication sa business owner, sa restaurant, and maybe as a personally bilang chef, no?
Kasi I've tried restaurant na may Michelin star awarded ngayon. And grabe sila when it comes to the way they think on how to elevate food, how to serve it, and how they adopted the culture ng Filipino culture. Like sa hapag, I tried hapag, and one of the significant dish that I had was the champurrado croquetas. Croquetas is a French dish na deep fried, na breaded. So they deconstructed it by doing it as a Filipino version. Kasi in Italy, they have an arancini So risotto rice na nasa balls. Diba? So ginawa nila parang, bakit hindi kaya ng Filipino cuisine? So they did the champurrado and they top it with fried dilis. So, di ba, naging sobrang elevated. So, I think the Michelin Guide stars, the Michelin star gave them an acknowledgement of their clever moves, their creativity. Alam mo yun, nabigyan ng acknowledgement yung food industry na if you go to a different country, you wouldn't have a Filipino cuisine, but you'll have a Chinese. Diba? Now, having as a privilege of having Michelin star in the Philippines, alam mo yun, may konting acknowledgement na siya sa amin.
Sa Filipino cuisine.
Yeah, actually si Chef Baichel, he's a French guy, but one of the significant dish din na natry ko sa kanya was the 2 things actually. Yung kare-kare arancini. So gawa siya, tapos merong bago sa ibabaw. So parang ako, sobrang hindi ko naisip yan. Kayang gawin yan.
Ano na yung bago
Yeah, part siya ng garnish. Pero parang, so in-elevate talaga nila yung Filipino cuisine na parang, okay, if there was a Michelin star, they would probably had it. Tapos ngayon meron na. So isa pang dish na parang naging significant din was the bibingka cheesecake. You know the burnt bass cheesecake device on the map.
Yeah.
And they elevated it with you parang salted egg yung ginamit nila for the mixture and all that stuff.
Nice.
So yun. I think for the effect nun sa businesses and establishment, actually in Filipino cuisine was actually good.
Yeah.
Kasi finally sarap kaya ng Filipino food, di ba?
Yeah.
Nagugutom na nga ako. Pwede ba tayo commercial break?
Pero na-acknowledge na siya, which is good for us Filipinos, us Filipino chefs. Diba? Kasi, yun nga, everywhere there's Chinese food, pero walang Filipino. Pero at least na, we're Michelin. So sana galingan pa ng industry.
So parang pag yung mga nag-iibang bansa na parang lagi nilang hinahanap Filipino food kasi wala. Pero ngayon parang dahil meron na nitong Michelin star, mas na-acknowledge no, yung Filipino food na hindi lang siya kumbaga pang Pilipinas, no, kundi parang world class.
Yeah,
parang
so na-standard na tayo. Na tayo sa tier na yun.
And siguro nakaka-curious din kung paano nila sinelect itong mga restaurants to. So, for this year, parang nag-focus lang ba sila sa Metro Manila? Or parang paano siya nangyari dun sa, paano naging yung selection process nila na parang, ikaw muna sa Manila, sila sa Cebu, parang ganyan. Paano siya nagkakaroon ng
Actually,
selection?
anonymous siya. So, what they do is, they listen to the people, and they visit places. They do a lot of research about the places.
Parang random pick, gano'n.
Hindi siya random. They study it.
They study.
Yeah. So, apparently, parang underground office siya sa France na pinag-aaralan talaga nila.
Nice.
There was an interview na pinanood ko. Hindi nga nila nagpa-video sa office nila. Tapos, parang yung CEO lang ng Michelin yung nag-explain how they do it. So, mystery din talaga kung sino yung papunta na guest.
Yeah.
Hindi mo talaga alam. Because one of the criteria is consistency. So, yan. So,
actually, I heard na parang mystery customer, yung diner yung kakain, magbabayad talaga, and talagang hindi magpapakilala, no? Kasi curious ako, before I heard that news na mag-a-apply ba, paano yung mga, kunwari, yung For Gospels Catering, di ba? Ang sarap din. Pwede bang mag-apply?
Lighthouse Cafe.
Lighthouse Cafe, di ba? Pero, ito parang mystery, and which adds to the prestige, no? Yung credibility.
So, yung culinary identity ng lugar. Ina-identify nila yon, and then they visit. I think they said they visit more than 3 times. So syempre consistency. So in some countries, yung mga naka-experience ng Michelin star, they actually surrendered. Kasi parang yung ginagawa nilang passion lang nila, ganun. Tapos dudumugin sila ng tao kasi na-curious. So, yun lang yung minsan nagiging downside of it. Pero, it's still good kasi, diba? Para na-acknowledge mo yung passion mo and gusto mong i-share, ganun.
On that note, Chef April, kasi we're talking about Filipino cuisine, no? Ako may din ako sa Pinoy food, obviously, diba? Kasi doon tayo lumaki. Pero, what do you think makes it parang, yun nga, Michelin star worthy na or sets it apart talaga? I know you talked about yung different restaurants, yung preparation nila, yung passion nila, and all that. But as a cuisine itself, what do you think can help us stand out? You know?
I think tayo will stand out with our produce. Diba? Actually, Philippine provides good pork. Pero hindi natin na-acknowledge yun as Filipinos. My chefs from Australia is the one telling me na, you Filipinos don't appreciate your meat. You Filipinos don't appreciate your rice. Pero actually, okay yung produce natin dito. Our gulay from Benguet. Yung heirloom ng rice natin sa iba-ibang province. Na feeling ko, yun yung nagiging iba sa atin. And we're very multicultural pagdating sa Filipino food. Diba? Marami tayong na-adopt from different countries na na-enhance natin. Diba?
Or siguro parang factor ba na kasi parang yun na yung food natin everyday. So parang we think of it na parang ano na lang siya, parang comfort
staple,
food or staple na lang. So parang madalas na-explore tayo na try naman natin yung mga ibang cuisines. Parang gano'n. Nagpa-factor ba siya na gano'n? Or
siguro yun nga din talaga. Kaya minsan tayo, when we go out, di na tayo kakain dyan. Pinoy food.
Pinoy food again.
Sarap paluto ng nanay ko dyan eh. Diba?
Kumbaga, dyan na, mahal ka, tapos binabali mo lang.
Wow!
Ito, hindi ko alam kung may take ka dito, Chef. Narinig ko rin, no? Kasi uso rin yung mga vloggers, food vloggers natin. So, yung mga nag-rate din, nag-stamp din, and even yung sinabi mo nga na mga websites and organizations before na nabibigay. Kahit kahit yung mga food delivery natin, may stars na din. Doon ko check din, sir, kahit sa mga outlet kung matino ba or I don't know.
May comments na nga rin.
May comments na rin para ma-qualify.
Nila.
Pero on that note, yung sa food vloggers, I'm not sure what your take is. Parang, how do you see those feedback, comments, yung evaluation nila?
As a chef and, restaurant and hotels na rin ngayon, everyone has different taste talaga eh. So, we cannot please everyone. So, yung Michelin guides or other guides is there to guide you, diba? So, tingin mo, palette mo si Michelin stars, edi follow mo sila. Diba? So, feeling mo kung yung gourmet bid gourmand yung follow mo. Doon lang ako, doon lang yung budget ko. Diba? So, for me, pagdating sa ganyan, sa vloggers and all that, if na-try mo, nagustuhan mo yung niya, first endorsement niya, diba? Tuloy mo, follow mo sila. I mean, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own palette. Maybe the three of us have different take of our adobo. Diba? Gusto mo yung balsamic adobo.
Namiss ko na yun eh.
Pwede adobo sa dilaw. So like, iba-iba talaga tayo. So, pagdating sa ganyan, everyone's free for their opinions. Ikaw din, you have to be lang. Kung ano yung susundan mo, tsaka kung ano yung gagawin mo. Diba?
And that's okay, no? Kasi parang doon natin nakikita na kung paano yung isang dish can flourish to other dishes. So parang mas nagkakaroon pa ng creativity yung ating mga kababayang chef, Filipino chefs. And speaking of Filipino chefs, no, Chef April, parang paano niyo po bang masasabi na siguro para naman to sa mga hindi pa nakaka-receive nung even yung selected lang na Michelin, no? So parang paano ba natin mas pa-promote and sa mga mas ma-elevate yung ating Filipino cuisine?
For me, I think dapat parang mahalin pa natin yung sariling atin and have a deeper foundation when it comes to cooking our local produce, diba? Like lemongrass, sobrang taken for granted. Pero dami natin pwedeng gawin, dami natin pwedeng lutuin it with our malunggay.
Taho, yes. Pwedeng lagyan ng ice cream.
Diba? Palaya, diba? Lahat ng pwedeng
Sili ice cream.
Yung mga simple na menudo, di ba?
Actually, we're formulating garlic ice cream yan. Kasi, di ba, sa Pangasinan, we have good garlics. So, yun yung mga stuff na ang dami nating magagandang ingredients nito na kailangan natin i-flourish pa. And one of the guidelines is culinary identity naman eh. And you're in the Philippines. So, I think for the other restaurants, they should focus more on, mahalin yung sarili natin.
Parang being resourceful. Kung ano yung alamin talaga natin, ano ba yung, saan mayaman yung ating bansa.
Yes, tsaka yung flourish. Importante.
Flourishing.
Yes, medyo nagutom na ako, Erica. Any final thoughts?
Yes. Nag-agree ako kay Chef April na imbes na parang export lang tayo, maganda na pagyamanin pa natin yung kung ano na yung mayaman sa ating bansa. Yung tangkilikin ang sariling atin. Sabi nga ng DOT, di ba, Pilipinas muna tayo. Yes!
Maraming salamat, Chef April. We hope to have you back dito sa Lighthouse Cafe. And talagang nakakatakam, no? At saka good for the tummy nga, sabi nila. Pero salamat din po, shoutout din po sa aking mommy, no, sa pagluluto. Kay Ate Sari, and even sa, Aileen's Kitchen, no? Talagang napakasarap every Sunday. No? But on that note, ito po, mas importante, yung nourishment na makukuha natin sa salita ng Panginoon. So, huwag po kayong aalis. Susunod na po ang Hebrews.
Welcome to Hebrews. Ito po ang segment sa ating Lighthouse Cafe na naglalayo na bigang daan sa ating mga buhay ang katotohanan ng salita ng Diyos. Ang term po na the fear of the Lord, ang takot sa ating Diyos, it is always referred to as the beginning of wisdom, ang simulain ng karunungan. Pinag-uusapan po natin palagi ang kaalaman, ang karunungan, ang katagumpayan. Subalit, ang simulain ika ng karunungan ay laging ang takot sa Diyos. Ano pong ibig sabihin ng takot sa Diyos? Ito po ay ang pagtanaw sa ating Diyos, pagkilala kung ano siya at sino siya. And for example, if we understand that God is holy, we can never do sin. If we understand that God is righteous, we can never be corrupt. If we will understand that God is truth, mag-iingat po tayo na mabuhay sa kasinungalingan. Kaya the fear of the Lord ay palagi pong simulain ng kung anong maaaring maipakikita natin sang-ayon sa ating karunungan. Hindi po maganda na ang karunungan natin ay ginagamit sa maling kaparaanan. At ang salita ng Diyos ay maraming mga pangako sa kanila na nagpapakita ng takot sa ating Diyos. Mas higit po yan kaysa sa takot sa batas. Sapagkat pagkilala yan sa ating Diyos na matuwid, na makatarungan, na puspos ng biyaya, and everything. Doon po sa Psalm number 128 and verses 1 to 4. Let me share these verses with you. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord. Oh, ang maganda po meron palang pagpapala. Sila na may takot sa Diyos, that walketh in His ways, na lumalakad sa kanyang daan. For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house. Thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Behold, that thus shall the man be blessed, that feareth the Lord. Isa pong napakamahalaga na maging pamantayan at maging pundasyon natin bilang bayan, bilang Pilipinas. Ano po? At kung tayo merong paggalang at takot sa Diyos, mag-iingat po tayo sa uri ng ating lakad sa ating buhay. Maaaring tayo may galing, maaaring tayo may talino, maaaring tayo may abilidad, meron tayong skills. Ano po? Nasukat na maaari po natin gamitin para sa ating sariling mga katagumpayan. Ngunit ang pagpapahalaga sa kung sino ang Diyos, ano siya, at ano ang kanyang hinahangad sa atin, yun po ang simulain ng karunungan. Okay? Kaya kung kukumpletuhin po, ang sabi doon sa Psalm 111 and verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do His commandments. His praise endureth forever. And then in Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Sa atin pong episode ng Lighthouse Cafe ay pinag-usapan natin ang mga nakakakamit ng mga kaalaman, mga degree, mga katagumpayan sa larangan ng edukasyon. Ngunit ang talagang simulain po ng papapakita ng karunungan ay una-muna, hindi lang yung batas ng tao, kundi yung pagkilala sa kung sino at ano ang Diyos. At ang lahat ng pag-iingat ay magkakaroon po tayo para sa katagumpayan, para sa magandang kinabukasan ng lahat ng Pilipino, ng ating bayan. Sana po ay naging pagpapala sa inyo ang katotohanan ito, sapagkat kahit saan po tayo lumugar, maging nasa loob tayo ng ating bansa, maging nasa labas, palaging the fear of the Lord ang talagang simulain ng papapakita ng karunungan. Pagpalain po tayo ng ating Diyos. And again, we've come to the point in our program when we say thank you. Thank you so much for having joined us today sa ating mga napakaganda at kapaki-pakinabang na mga napag-usapan.
Tama po yan, Bishop, at nakakabusog din ng mga usapin, no? Salamat po kay President Sonny Reyes Jr., Chef April Cantoria. You can rewatch and share our episodes from our Facebook page and YouTube channels. Hanapin niyo lang po ang Lighthouse, BBC, Great Commission TV, or GCTV Asia. Sa YouTube naman po, look for GCTV PH. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share na rin po.
Yan, at para naman po sa mga on the go, meron din po tayong podcast sa Spotify. Hanapin niyo lamang po ang Lighthouse Cafe and you can listen to our episodes anywhere you
At
are.
of course, shoutout din po sa ating faithful na tech and food team. So, andyan po si Direk Edwin Ballesteros, Jed Gamboa, Erin Joy Abante, ELC, Jeff Alvarado, Leo Alpas, Japs Dominguez, Kuya Chris Pertes, Ninang Emily Ballesteros, Ate Daisy Cu, Malu Inorino, at Jabez Gamboa.
And we would also like to thank our ministry partners, ang Four Gospels Catering Services, Hub 105, Haircutters Republic na located po sa Q Plaza Mall, Cainta, Rizal.
And so, join us again next week, Monday night, same time, 8:30, for another live broadcast ng ating pong Lighthouse Cafe.
Where good talks happen.
I didn't see it.